Aloha everyone, what is really good my dudes? Today is January 18th, 2021 and we got another RuneScape update for y'all. Today is the third week of the Grand Party celebration focusing around minigames, but it is also Ninja Strike 17, this time focusing on the player-owned farm. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video, let's go!
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, so continuing with the Grand Party celebration, this week we focus on mini-games. So from now until next Monday, you're going to get double currency rewards for every mini-game. So everything that could be considered a mini-game will now give you double points. This includes Soul Wars, Pest Control, and Shattered Worlds, just to name a few. You will also be getting double Thaler and double Ports resources for the duration of this week. The Anniversary portal in the Lumbridge Crater will now teleport you to any of the game's necklace locations, making it super easy to hop between your favorite minigames. In addition to this, you can speak to Gilly Willikers at the Lumbridge Crater once per day to receive a free clue scroll. The quality of the clue scroll is dependent on your total skill level, but considering even easy clues have very good rewards, all players have the opportunity to get themselves something nice. And that's pretty much all you really need to know for this week's celebration of minigames. We're going to shift on over to the Ninja Strike now and see what they've done with today's update, so let's go check it out. You can now mark favorite animals with a new right click or long press option or via the animal pen or barn interfaces. Favorite animals cannot be traded between players, given to requesters, or handed over when attempting to sell all to a buyer. New buttons have been added to the animal information interface to make it easier to feed animals honeycomb. Long press or right click button to feed maximum amounts of honeycomb. Animal buyers can once again be set to appear via word of mouth, based on what animals are in the pens. Speak to one of the Potteringtons about contract options and clear your advertisements to try it out. Adding food to troughs via the Make X menu will now pick an appropriate food based on the type already in the trough, or the type used last. If neither of those options are possible, it will default to the first appropriate food you have in your backpack. The Make X trough menu will now start at the maximum value. The warning, which first appears when attempting to harvest an animal under 100% health and happiness, can now be toggled back on. You can find this toggle in the farming options. Player-owned farm paddock requirements are now listed in the construction skill guide. For consistency, various messaging on Manor Farm and the Ranch at a Time has been turned into info boxes. Activating and deactivating overhead icons for animals, changing and checking season with the seasonalizer, placing, removing, and checking farming totems, trying to use the ranch without completing the Anarchonia base camp tutorial, and not having enough materials to build dinosaur pens. Quick selling animals to buyers will now trigger an info box stating the total amount of beans gained. Dinosaur eggs dropped by feral, ripper, brutish, and venomous dinosaurs now trigger loot beams. And finally, tooltips for animals' health and happiness meters now appear when they are tapped on mobile devices. That is it for the Ninja Strike this time around. With that, we're going to shift on over to the patch notes and see what's been changed with all that, so let's go ahead and check them out. Starting off with some textual changes, Motherlode mod dialog now explicitly states that all skills have to be leveled up to 95 in order to claim the reward. Fixed a typo on Boots Enhanced with the Shadow Spike, and fixed a punctuation issue with the Quest Complete screen on French Worlds. Moving on to some archaeology changes, you can now disable the archaeology skill on both Cinder and Pulse cores. You can no longer attempt to change the Cosmetic Prismatic Pendant to the archaeology style. Trying to do so will now send a message explaining that no such pendant exists. And the text box that appears to inform you of the inspect function on artifacts will no longer remain indefinitely. Moving on to some other changes, they've adjusted the default camera sensitivity for new users on mobile. The prerequisites for the Not Such a Rotten Idea achievement has been tweaked. You'll now need to complete Darkness of Hallavale instead of achieving the level 500 reward in Temple Trekking. All three extant Felix outfits are now available on the Oddments Paw-er. Raksha has been added to the list of bank presets. You can now bless extra fine sand at Lumbridge Altar. fixed an issue on mobile which caused the information on the death tutorial to not appear when tapping the information icon. The always adds relic and the infernal adds will no longer burn logs in the temple trekking minigame. Logging into a free-to-play world no longer swaps action bars designated to members with the primary action bars. The positioning of requirements in the Beast tab has been adjusted. Steam players will now see promo-specific banners, and the top tip in the Sinkholes minigame will no longer overlay other UI elements. Finally, we got now a couple of hotfixes that went live throughout the week. Erethdor's Grimoire now correctly deactivates on death, and Iron Man no longer benefit from the 20th anniversary event, increased Slayer XP buff, or Elder Overload Golem. That is it for your patch notes. Links to everything discussed in this video will be down in the description below, so head on over there and check them out. With that, I'm going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Aloha.